And welcome in a hot and pretty muggy South Carolina today. Let me start off with showing you my wife who got her hair cut today for Locks of Love for the cancer patient. Look at that, all that beautiful long hair is gone, and it's gonna go to charity to make wigs for kids who have cancer. A noble cause, so kudos for my wifey. Today we're gonna show you how to put a bend in the vine, how to prep your female for pollination. There she is, coming along nicely. And although I started a little bit, we're going to have to make somewhat of a bend in the vine. Tina's going to film one more time, no more hair. Alright, well obviously the first thing we're going to have to do is, and it's kind of a shame, but we have to get rid of this beautiful leaf. Nice dark green color, looking healthy, but we're not going to be able to use it. So I got a sharp pair of scissors here. And what I'm going to do is carefully get rid of the leaf. There it is. You cannot grow um, this female out with a big leaf coming out in the bottom or on top for that matter. This side vine, kind of a shame too, but it's gonna leave. So I snipped that off too and snip a little bit more of that leaf node off. Try to have a clean cut. A little bit more here. Alright, now here in our patch, we always have to be careful that, and I showed you this in previous videos, that spots that we snip off don't start to turn brown or rot. So what I'm doing right now is I'm applying some sulfur to the fresh cuts in order to seal them and create an environment that's not favorable for disease, non-favorable for bacteria and fungi, as I spread the sulfur out a little bit. Alright, put the sulfur back. Tina can show you from the top now. This is obviously our main vine, and all you new growers do this on the hottest part of the day. It's always hot here, so we can do it basically any point in time, but it's always best to do it later in the day when it's still warm, or at its warmest. And we're going to move this vine a little bit. Here's our main vine. Now what I'm going to do, and I've got some skewers to secure the vine, is if you got tap roots going, like this one here, they need to come out. You can obviously not move your vine with the tap roots in. There's a tap root here, there's a tap root coming out here and here, and you don't have to be concerned about getting them out, because later on, as the pumpkin grows and the vine comes upwards, you're going to have to cut them off anyway. So you're going to lose these roots. So don't worry about getting them out. They're going to go. What I do then is I'm going to pull this one outward and pull this vine a little bit back. And I'm going to do this very carefully. And I'm going to have to feel where I need to stop. Obviously, there's only a certain amount of flexibility in the vine. There we go. There's a long tap root coming out here too, under the female. I'm not going to cut them off yet. And as you can see, there's somewhat of a bend in the vine now. So what I now need to do is secure this bend. So I'm going to place skewers on strategic positions to make sure that the vine cannot bend back to its original position. And I see now here that right under the female we have a drip tape, so this drip tape will come out. Put one here, Pull this one back a little bit further. And you got to be really, really careful when you do this, because you're now putting pressure on this vine. If you go crazy and put it out too far, it will snap. So I cannot stress enough that you got to do this very carefully. It's necessary though, because you don't want your fruit later on to have issues with with the shoulders rubbing up against the main vine. I gotta concentrate here too, make sure that I do this right. Alright. I'm not gonna go any further for today, but as you can see now, if Tina can film this from the top, that's somewhat of a bend here. Now they call it an S-bend on S-shaped curve. If you look from the top, the S will go like this, and the main vine here will keep its original course. Now, as it grows longer, and this grows a little bit more flexible, I will pull it out even further. And I might have a little bit more slack here. There you go. Now, what I always do, I feel the female, and I do this very carefully, and see if I can move her a little bit. Obviously, ideally, you'd have a 90-degree angle on the vine. Right now, you can tell it's moving along with the main vine, and I would like it to come a little bit this way. What I sometimes do is use my skewer to keep the female in place. Now, I don't have to go crazy. Once this female is pollinated and there's a little pumpkin, it's oftentimes easier to move the little pumpkin carefully, an inch a day, into the right position. By that time, the vine will be a little bit more flexible. And right now, everything is really sensitive. But that's basically how we position our vine. The taproot, for right now, I will still utilize, so I'll bury it again. I got some taproot there. There's no point in inoculating it, because in 2 or 3 weeks from now, after pollination and the female has taken, it will come out. It will be cut off, so this is only for the time being. Get those extra nutrients. And that's it. All we need to do now is wait for this female to open, which approximately will take another 3 to 4 days, and then we pollinate. And obviously you take somewhat of a chance by getting the side vine off and the leaf off, but you only get a couple of chances at the distance you want to pollinate. So you're going to miss that leaf, you're going to miss that one side vine, and if for some reason the female doesn't take, it's gone. But once again, that's the risk you're going to have to take. For right now though, having this female already in a good position is very important. Once the vine is 5 or 6 feet longer, it's going to be really hard to get that good position on the vine. And once your fruit is 100 pounds or more, there's no more moving it. And doing this too late is oftentimes the reason why some growers snap off their pumpkin. They forget to do this in time when the female's still young and unpollinated, and then when the pumpkin's growing, they discover that the shoulders of the fruit will grow up against the main vine, and they get in trouble. So this is a very important part of growing, and we will do this basically with each female that we want to pollinate. This is the first one. This one has about 6 or 7 side vines before the fruit, so it's a nice distance. Personally, I'd consider the next one maybe even a little bit better. 1 or 2 more side vines extra before the fruit. That's what we prefer. And we're going to have to see how this plays out. We're going to give it a try on this one and see what happens. So, with this done, what we do here in the south, because we always got to be careful with the sun, is we have this a very simple contraption that we basically put over the fruit, and we use this to shade it. It's a little bit tied up. We used it, I got it out, and now I gotta find the right position for it. Put this in, and this will, in a very simple way, protect our female from the hot sun. We got a shade cloth, but despite that, we still have to be careful. When temperatures go over 90 degrees, um, pollination is just not a guarantee. We've had years in where we tried several females and uh, had a lot of trouble getting one set. So when that started, we started shading them. And if for some reason it's really hot when we pollinate, if it's 95 or above, we will actually put a bottle of ice water here, or a bottle of ice, to cool the female. And that's a trick to help pollination succeed. So that's basically it. That's how we put a bend in our vine. And once again, be careful. I mean, there's growers that can put ridiculous bends in their vine, but those usually are the skilled growers that have been doing this for years. If you're new and you're doing this for the first or the second time, be careful. Um, let the vine tell you where you need to stop bending, and instead of trying to do it in one night, do it like this. Spread it out over a couple of days. That way you'll keep your main vine and you keep your fruit. So, from a hot and muggy South Carolina, I wish you you new growers good luck. Give it a try and grow a big one. South Carolina, over and out.